visitors. Thank the Maker. It's been so long since I've spoken to anyone. Have you come to observe the wildlife too?
I think I found your supplies. A dead man out in the desert had these on him.
Dead? Blessed Andraste. What about Marcus or Jeannette? This is terrible news. I am Frédéric of Serrault, foremost researcher of draconology in Orlais. I came here with an expedition from the university. But the others are all missing, and our work has been halted. White Claw raiders have made off with much of our supplies. You will help me reclaim the equipment, will you not? You will champion the advancement of science.
You're a scholar. What can you tell me about this region?
The Western Approach is a remarkable place, as you are no doubt aware. Many magnificent creatures make their home here. Varghests, dragons, phoenixes. They thrive where few others can. The land was poisoned by the Second Blight. The Warden Fortress has stood since that time. Before the Blight, the ancient Imperium ruled here. Actually, I saw some Tevinters recently. Studying the runes, perhaps.
Tell me about yourself.
I am a professor at the University of Orlais. I have made it my life's work to write the definitive monograph on the hunting habits of dragons and their closest kin. On this trip alone, I have produced 20 scrolls of notes. More scholarship than has ever been done on the Southern Varghest. But my hope, my great ambition, is to observe the abyssal high dragon taking her prey. A sight no scholar has ever recorded.
I have the supplies you were waiting for right here.
Now that I have my recipes back, I'll be able to concoct a bait the high dragon cannot resist. I have most of what I need, but I still need to gather quillback intestines and a phoenix's tail feather.
You study dragons. I'd be interested in hearing more about that.
Oh, they are fascinating and little understood creatures, thought extinct for centuries. Now they seem to be making a comeback. The Nevarrans wrote extensively on breeding and nesting behavior, but high dragon hunting patterns have never been studied. I would be most interested if you come across any Gurn corpses that might be victims of dragon attacks.
We'll have to speak some other time.
My dearest Demetrius, I hope this letter finds you recovered from those ghastly meetings about road repair or import taxes or whatever terribly important work has consumed your time. I applaud your patriotic efforts to maintain the Imperium's infrastructure while the horned beasts to the north wage bloody war upon us. I have asked before, but you are my closest friend, and now that you have seen the stirrings of our work, I hoped you might reconsider. You cannot think your talents adequately spent on road work, Metri. You come from the blood of the Dreamers. My master will restore the Imperium to a greatness it has not seen since our ancestors walked in the Golden City. He will rule not just a nation, but the world. Those who show loyalty now stand to reap the benefits when all the world kneels to the Venatori. Perhaps you are more comfortable with roads. When my master returns Tevinter to the glory it deserves, he will be pleased to find the nation well paved. Consider well, my friend. Magister Livius Aramund of Virendium.
Adamant Fortress. Of all the decisions we Grey Wardens were forced to make over the lean years, withdrawing from the Fortress of Adamant was perhaps the most difficult. It had been built as a bastion against darkspawn spilling out from the abyssal rift, a symbol of how we had done the impossible, pushing those creatures back into the shadows where they belonged. We kept the land safe from further encroachment, but as each new age dawned, memories of our sacrifice became fainter. The entire western approach had become a wasteland, and thus the expense of maintaining the fortress became increasingly difficult to justify. There were no griffons to fill its rears, too few wardens to man its battlements, too many good men and women killed by demons creeping through the thinning veil. Each visit of the warden commander made it more apparent that Adamant had become a symbol of our decline. Even if Darkspawn still emerged from the chasm, who would they threaten other than the wardens themselves? So in the dawn of the Blessed Age, we sealed the fortress's mighty gates. We left the great griffin statues to tarnish in the blowing sand, retreating to Montsimard with a sense of loss and shame. I returned recently with a small expedition to retrieve supplies, surprised to see it still standing. The dwarves did well by us. I suspect Adamant will remain for ages to come, but should the Order ever return, they will find it difficult to resurrect. Only spirits roam its halls now, alongside the memories of those who gave their lives to protect us all from darkness. From the Journal of Veldon, Grey Warden of Orlais, 858 Blessed.
The trail leads on.
This is a big operation. What's going on here?
The end must be nearby.
The creation of a phylactery. We let the boy rest. The first night they brought him to the White Spire, I convinced Knight Commander Belrose to delay the ritual till the morning. The journey was long, and the lad could barely keep his eyes open, poor thing. I was certain escape was the furthest thing from his mind. Median found him a clean cot in with the other young apprentices, and when I came in with his supper, he was already fast asleep. In the morning, I showed Median how the phial was to be prepared. First, a simple charm to preserve and protect the glass. Then a spell that to keep the blood from forming dark clots. The last step could only be completed with the apprentice present. I sent a young Templar recruit off with the message that we were ready. The boy was escorted to the chamber by Belrose himself. I could tell he had just been awakened. There was a smear of dirt from his face, perhaps from the road. I called the boy to me and cleaned his cheek with my sleeve as I explained the ritual. "We have to take your blood," I said, "because you're special and we don't want you to be lost. If it happens, the blood will allow us to find you and bring you home again." I let Median take the lancet this time. The tremor in my hands was worse that day, and I didn't want to make too deep a cut. I held the boy close, and Median made a small, neat incision on his palm, exactly as instructed. I felt the boy struggle and start to cry. He tried to pull away, but Median gripped his hand firmly, letting the blood run into the phial. Then Median cast the spell, like we practiced. Within the phial, The blood churned, and grew bright in the presence of the mage to whom it was bound. It was done. Another phylactery, another link forged. He was leashed to the White Spire. The boy could not look away from the glow. He was enthralled, and the pain and the tears were forgotten. "See? This is magic," I said to him. "When you are older, I will teach you." Belrose let the boy hold his phylactery for several minutes before he locked it away in the chamber. From the Memoirs of Chantry of Clay, 872 Blessed.
Another flight of fools!